Hello guys, and -1 Russian bomber, Su-25 or Su-34. And honestly, right now we don't know for sure who shot down this evil aircraft, whether it's brave Ukrainian armed forces or negligent Russian army. But personally, I don't mind. Whoever did that did the right thing. -1 Russian bomber. Also, these days, with the help of Storm Shadow missiles, we've neutralized 3 Russian command points on the front lines, which is also a very vivid message to the invaders. Run back to Mother Russia. And it seems like more and more of them understand the danger, because if you look at what is happening around the Kerch Bridge and on Kerch Bridge itself, you clearly understand that Russians are panicking. They are trying to secure Crimean Bridge with various constructions and also bring more and more air defense systems close to it. Perhaps their intelligence and simple human logic proves that sometime soon this evil symbol of Russian occupation will also be destroyed. And if you want to discuss that in a beautiful Ukrainian company sometime soon, subscribe, join the community of the channel, and please share the videos that you like on your social media. Unfortunately, there are still too many toxic messages from the Russian propagandists, and we have to find them, just as we do with Russian bombers. So let's start with this really good update from Donetsk region, where we have -1 Russian bomber. Right now, it's impossible to identify what kind of aircraft that was. There are some photos and videos of the remains of the aircraft, and the version that seems to be most likely is it was Su-25. It might have been Su-34, and there were some rumors that this could also be a new, there are only 3 of this type, big Russian drone, Hunter, which is in Russian OKHOTNIK, but this version seems to be the least likely. What is also interesting, Russian military bloggers claim that this bomber was shot down by the friendly fire from the Russian side. There was also a version that I've heard on the radio while driving the car that this was a Russian pilot who actually wanted to give up and tried to bring this Su to the Ukrainian side, and it was shot down by the Russians. Okay, none of these versions can be checked, but what is important here are the results. And the results are burning Russian aircraft and more of the Ukrainian lives saved, because they use this aircraft to drop extremely evil guided bombs, which are known here as cabs. Each can weigh up to 500, which means 500 of explosives. Unfortunately, the results of such bombings are devastating. They harm a lot of Ukrainian territory and nature. And knowing that another evil tool that was used for such crimes and violence is now in ashes is definitely good. In general, such aircraft can cost up to $50-60 million, so just try to count how much money Russia loses on a daily basis just because it decided to start this war. And this war will definitely bury the idea of the Russian Empire, the Soviet Union, and the Putin-style Russian Federation. Subscribe to observe the collapse of Russia together. As the Ukrainian translator of this complex process, I will be happy to provide you with some very important details. And the important details that Russian army is losing their management, and actually the majority of their top military who started this war are already in hell, and 3 more commanders joined the majority of the Russian soldiers there after Storm Shadow strikes on command points of various divisions of the Russian army near the front lines in Ukraine, and this is definitely good. I can only imagine how how much more effective we could have been if we were allowed to strike back using long-range missiles. It's insane that, having witnessed all of these war crimes that Russia commits daily, knowing about hundreds and thousands of murdered Ukrainians, our partners who stand for freedom and democracy still hesitate and don't let Ukraine fight back to the fullest, hoping to preserve what? Do you really want to preserve this Kremlin government in its modern state? Let me know in the comments below, do you believe this kind of future is possible, where Putin is back to G8 again? I don't know, people shake hands with him, because in my Ukrainian heart, this will be the greatest betrayal, including of our democratic partners, one can only imagine. And personally, I don't even think about such things, because this would mean like losing all the hope and trust in the humanity. Hopefully different decisions are being prepared by our partners, and I mean they will allow us to strike back using long-range missiles. And there are some preparations in Crimea. Crimea was the territory first occupied by Russia, and actually our weak response was the result that led to the further annexation of Donbass, Luhansk regions, and the full-scale war, because bullies, aggressors like Putin take it as green lights. If they are not stopped, if they are not punished, if they are not beaten, they treat it as you can do whatever you want. So hopefully sometime soon missiles, drones will destroy Kerch Bridge that was opened by Putin personally and is actually a symbol of the annexation of Crimea and the start of this new wave of Russian imperial violence. And looking at the satellite images, at the results of the various reports from intelligence, we can clearly see that right now they are doing some insane things to secure this breach, bring lots of structures that can help it withstand explosions, and also bring all the air defense that they can actually need in Belgorod, Kursk, or elsewhere. But you know, Russians don't care about lives of people, including their own people in the Russian army. So they focus on these structures that are very symbolic, and this is another proof why it is so important to destroy the symbolic structures, that their destruction will actually symbolize that destruction of evil Putin's plans. Until he is not imprisoned, we cannot relax, we cannot negotiate. Such evil and such crimes must be punished. That's the only way to return back to international laws and to start rebuilding a new world order. And of course, respect to each other and especially each other's borders. This is super important for the survival of mankind. I know you know that, but there are people who still think we can return back to the old normal. I wish we could, but guys, sorry, with Putin on this planet, this does not seem very likely. So please share the videos, especially with those who doubt, on your social media platforms. Join me on Instagram, X, Discord, and Threads, and check our merch shop for new interesting collection of Halloween, which has Ukrainian pumpkins and some very articulate messages. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel, and most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!